Don't you dare for a second trust your mother-in-law. If you are married to a narcissist, have a baby with a narcissist, and a relationship with a narcissist, one, he's got a huge mother wound that he is not ready to face, doesn't even know that it's a problem. And then two, where do you think he learned that narcissistic behavior? Now, I'm not saying that all mothers of narcissists are the narcissist. And in my situation, my ex-husband's narcissist that he followed was his dad. It wasn't even his mom. But you can't trust them, and here's why. If you've never seen me before, hi, my name is Maya. I'm 34 years old. I have a 7-year-old son, and I survived my divorce with my narcissist. I have been single for 7 years and officially divorced for 4. And because I survived, I created a page where we can all be together, grow, heal, and thrive together. I want to give what I never was able to receive when I was going through my journey. And I share my story so that you never feel alone. But like I was saying, in my situation, the narcissist was my father-in-law. But today we're talking moms. The moms are the real enablers. They will lie, they will do whatever they have to be on their son's good side. In my personal experience, I really felt like my ex-mother-in-law was afraid of her own son. Not afraid he'd hurt her, I don't mean it in that way, but afraid to ever ruffle feathers or make him upset or, God forbid, him be angry at her. So when I tell you she would lie and do everything that she possibly could to make sure that she was on her son's good side, I mean everything. If we're being honest, I was very, very lucky because it was very obvious how fake my mother-in-law was. She wasn't tactful like my ex-husband was. She was not able to trick anybody, to fool me. I could see right through her the moment we met. But I was always nice to her because that's just what you do. You're dating their son, you're married to their son, you're the mother of their grandchild. So I was always nice to her, but I knew she could not be trusted. I don't even have the words. Throughout me and my ex-husband's dating and then marriage journey, my mother-in-law would always want to tag along, which I thought was annoying just because I wanted boundaries in my relationship and marriage with my husband, but that's besides the point. But she always wanted to tag along. And it really didn't take long for me to see that I knew I didn't like her. Because remember I said I could just see it from the very beginning. I could feel it from the very beginning that I knew I couldn't trust her. But I had no reason. It was just her energy. But it didn't take long for me to actually have reason to not trust this woman. Because if me and my ex got into a fight, if my ex did something stupid, if my ex was drunk, she always took his side. Even if it was painfully obvious that my ex was in the wrong. And I'm not even one of those people that's I'm always right and he's always wrong. I'm not even a controlling type. That wasn't even my role as a wife, but she always took his side. I will literally never forget. We went on vacation to the beach. I had been with my narc for probably 2 years at this point. My ex comes from a big family. And so we were all just drinking, having fun. We were outside, me and my husband. We're playing cornhole, drinking. It was a good old time, right? Well, my ex definitely drinks too much, and he was hammered. We're talking blackout, okay? So I don't even remember exactly what he did. He turned around me to probably hit me on the butt or something. I don't know. But he grabbed my wrist and he twisted it, and it hurt really bad. And I remember being oh my God, ow, that hurt. Don't do that. He freaked out. He threw the cornhole thing down, threw his beer down. It's spilling and it's going crazy all over the beach house. Slams the door, walks inside. He is pissed. And I remember asking him, I was dude, why are you so upset? And he's you just never can take a joke. It always has to be, and he's going on. And I was oh, you're upset because I said ow because you twisted my arm? And he's yeah. And he's I wasn't trying to hurt you. And I'm right. And I didn't accuse you of it either. I was just saying, ow, it hurt because it hurt. It was just a reaction. It was nothing more than that. And I start laughing because I'm surely he didn't think I was serious. But anyways, the entire night got ruined. He was in a little hissy fit for literally the rest of the night. In walks mother-in-law and she's what's going on? So of course I tell her. Then my ex-husband proceeds to tell her the situation too. And mid-conversation, He storms off from the both of us, his mom and me. He's gone. Takes keys with him, gets into his truck, and like zooms out of the driveway as if he's like trying to catch an ambulance. Like, super dramatic, right? So at this point I start crying because I'm like, he's got to be kidding. Like, he's making this out to be something that it's not. I literally just said, ow, that hurt. And now the whole night is ruined, and he's driving around drunk AF at the beach at night in the summer, alone, probably speeding, probably swerving. And I'll never forget my ex-mother-in-law. She looked at me and she's like, well, honey, you know. And I was like, no, I don't know. What? I don't know. What are we talking about? And she's like, well, you know, we've got to be really, you know, careful about his temper. And I remember, and she was like whispering it, and I knew like what she was saying. She was like, you know, like, you did this, like, you poked the bear. So anyways, we had more family that was coming in, and they were asking what was going on, because I'm telling you, like, this was a huge scene, and I literally, for the life of me, I was like, I can't even believe that this is happening. This is so stupid. This is so silly. This is so, you know, like, dramatic, over the freaking top. So, of course, when other family comes to ask, I'm telling my side of the story. She's telling her side of the story. It was awful. And I'll never forget, she's like, well, you know, next time, just don't do anything to upset him. And she would say it just like that. And I just was like, okay. That's just one instance. But fast forward, I mean, there are so many stories of when she would take my ex-husband's side as opposed to mine, which I didn't even care. Like, I'm not big on like taking sides, but it's more of just like what's right and what's wrong. But it got even worse when we started fighting and we were separating, and I moved out and he was cheating and we got divorced. And it literally, I mean, honestly, it's so obvious now. But while I was living through it, like, it was just insane to me. Like, if he wasn't speaking to me, if me and him were not on good terms, I didn't hear from her. If me and him were on good terms, she was around. When it was obvious that I was leaving her son, didn't hear from her. Mind you, me and my ex share a son together, which is my ex-mother-in-law's only grandchild. Okay? Only. She doesn't come around. My son doesn't even know that that's his grandma. We call her by her first name, and I won't put it out here. But he has no idea because he calls her by her name and he just thinks that who that is. And I'm not going to correct him. I'm not bitter, and I'm not going to like hide the truth from my son by any means. Like, that's not what I do. But I'm also in a place right now where my son is at an age where I can't tell him the whole truth. And when I do, it'll all make sense in time. But this is not that. And I'm tired of holding on to the guilt of that I'm not doing enough when his literal grandmother does nothing to see him. So that's just a snippet. I feel like I went on an entire rant, but that's just a snippet at how these mothers are. It is so toxic. It's so not okay. I know I'm laughing, but it's just because it's so insane to me that this is even what happens in people's lives, that I lived this, and how miserable these narcissists are, and really the moms too. If anything that I said resonates with you, I would love to hear your story down in the comments. And make sure to swipe up to see my bio to see if there's anything that resonates with you there too.